Hi, and welcome to my QuickBooks training session. On this session, I want to uh, explain, I want to give an answer to a question asked. So I'm making this video in response to that question. So on my QuickBooks training Facebook group, uh, there is one Mandy Jekels, sorry if I did not spell that correctly, posted a question about CIS, about a construction industry, a construction industry scheme, which is collected by H HMRC, and that HMRC is Her Majesty. They call it Her Majesty Royal Custom. Majesty Revenue Custom, sorry, Majesty Revenue Custom. So this is the body that is responsible for collection of this kind of tax. So if you are a subcontractor to a sole trader, you are a contractor but a subcontractor to a sole trader or a company or a partnership, those companies are supposed to withhold a percentage, which is 20% from any service you render them before making payments to your account. But they are going to pay that withholding amount to the HMRC, or the HM Revenue and Custom. Okay, that is Her Majesty Revenue and Custom. So now, what we're going to do now to reflect that, uh, in my previous video of withholding tax, you can also watch that to get an insight. But I'm doing this in response to that question that is raised on my Facebook uh, account. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to go to vendors here, then go to vendor center. So we're going to create HMR as a new vendor, because we're going to be making payment to the HMR. So I'm going to use HM Revenue Custom, or I just use HMRC, whichever is okay by you, HMRC. So now we have that as a vendor. Now we also have to create a vendor for the contractor. So I might double click on this and name it subcontractor. So but if you have the name of the subcontractor, why not? You can make use of that name over here instead of using contractor. So I have these two persons. I'm paying for the service rendered to me, to this subcontractor, and I'm also paying the withhold tax, the 20% to HMRC. Okay, so now let's go with that. Now we receive an invoice from the subcontractor. So invoice might be that we have invoice. Definitely, if we receive an invoice, it means we are uh, receiving that services for on credits that we are going to pay back later. You understand? So let's say we receive, there's a service rendered by this a construction service or a remodeling, or let's just call it construction service. Okay, now I'm going to enter the bill that I received from this supplier, this subcontractor. So I'm going to select that. So, okay, I'm going to make use of today's date, which is 7th. Now the reference number here is going to be the invoice number on the bill I received, the invoice I received from the subcontractor, which whatever the bill number is, I use that 11112. Okay, now this due date, that's just something we can just run about. Okay, now over here we have two tabs, expense and item. So we can decide to make use of the expense tab by selecting an account. Now you are receiving a service for a particular account. So let me see if I have anyone I can make use of here. Let's say I'll just create one. Okay, so I'll click on that. So I want to create an expense account. Let's say we receive a construction or kitchen, let's just say a remodeling, kitchen remodeling. I'm just using that, depending on which service it is that you received from that that subcontractor. Okay, I'm talking to Mandy. Okay, save and close. Now we have an expense account that we're paying for. Now the amount, let's say the bill amount, the invoice amount that we receive is 80,000. So we receive a bill amount from subcontractor, but we are supposed to withhold 20%. Okay, now I'm going to select over here. The kitchen remodeling is definitely going to be 80,000, but I'm paying. Now I'm going to select the withholding. Now I have created a current account, an other current liability account as withholding tax payable, which is correct. Now remember I told you this section here credits the subcontractor, why this section here, or the vendor, why this section here debits whichever account you are selecting. So in this case, I have a withholding tax payable is a liability account, so I'm not supposed to debit it, I'm supposed to credit it so that it will show that it actually occurred. So while I'm doing this over here, I will include a negative. So if I do 20% of 80,000, that will give me 16,000. So now you see we are left with the balance of 64. So QuickBook is going to credit this subcontractor with 64,000. It's going to debit kitchen remodeling as 80,000, which is correct. Then also credit the withholding tax payable with 16,000. Why? Because I use my negative. That's why it will credit. But if I use positive, if I leave it positive, it will debit, and that is not what you want to see. So once we save and close, on your memo, you can include the purpose of the transaction. Okay, so now I'll save and close. Now I'm going to pull out a report so that we'll see how it affects our report, just like I did for the withholding tax I just created earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go to profit and loss. You see that we have expense for kitchen remodeling. I did this transaction on the same day, so it's going to show the two legs. Okay, so I have kitchen remodeling as 80,000. That is correct. I'm going to down to balance sheet to see if we have a payable and the other payable. Now account payable here is 64,000. If I double click on that, you see that I'm owing the subcontractor 64,000, not 80,000. So QuickBook has already separated this figure, values for me because of how I entered it. Okay, now the next one is the withholding tax payable of 16,000. You can see that we have 16,000 for that same bill subcontractor that we withheld from the subcontractor. Okay, now how do you go ahead to make this payment, which I know you should have an idea. We'll just go ahead to complete the transaction. Now after you enter bill, you pay bill. So when you pay bill, you select the bill that you want to pay. Now this is between you and the subcontractor. Okay, I'll go ahead and select the company, the bank account. Let me say I'm using this on. Let me just say this. So let me use operating account. So now it's negative, so it's going to be reading. It's going to increase instead of reduce because it's negative. I'll pay selected bills. So once I'm done, remember we have 13 there, but if I go back to balance sheet, you see now it's no longer uh, now we have 142.13, yeah, not 149, so we have 213, which is correct. Over here you see we don't have an account payable on that subcontractor, but still we still have to pay this withholding tax to somebody. Okay, so now we want to pay off this 16,000. So we go home. You can decide to make use of general journal. So click on company, make general journal entries. We debit the other current liability account, which is this withholding tax payable that we have. We debit it with 16,000. Now this will net off that amount that we have. So you can include payment to HMR for tax with edge. So you can include that. Now here the account we are paying from is the operating account. Okay, but now we have to select that we are paying to HMRC. Okay, HMRC. Good. So now we hit save and close. Okay, once we save and close and go to report, see over here, you have to refresh. You see now that we don't have the 16,000 anymore, and we've paid from the operating account. Okay, I hope I've answered your question, Mandy Jekers. So this is the solution to the question you asked on my QuickBooks training Facebook group account. If you have any question, you can still drop on the comment section and let me know if I've answered your question. So, okay, see you guys and have a nice day.